All right, welcome back, YouTube. So the mini set has been finally announced, and we have a whole reveal schedule now out and about. So these are the dates for when everything's gonna be shown here, and I believe that the slash means that I might be wrong. They're gonna be dual classes or not. I'm not 100% sure. I know there are some dual class cards to talk about today, so I'm excited to get into those. This is all schedule, and we're gonna be behind by a day because, well, I'm kind of busy this week with work. So unfortunately, these are all gonna be a day behind. So just be aware of that. But we're gonna go ahead and jump into it. You're gonna see some of them right here, though. But we'll start at this part right here. So, like I said, it's gonna be playable on January 18th, and you'll be able to purchase it for 2,000 gold or like 14.99 American. I think it's like 17.99 or whatever it is, Canada, currency, whatever that is. But we'll go into it right away. So the first legendary here is Deep Miner Brann. It's a 6 mana 2/4 battle cry. If your deck has no duplicates, your battle cry is triggered twice for the rest of the game. I mean, this is a lovely effect. I mean, Warrior's going to eat this effect up. I mean, getting the double, battle cry for Odin's going to be so oppressive. Getting, ETC, Ignis, and even like any of the other really good battle cries, like 2 mana 2/3 that you forge and restore 6 HP, and you get a holy spell. Like getting 2 of those like effects off. Armor Vendor is going to be really good for this as well. And I don't recall any new battle cries that are going to be too impactful, at least as of right now in this reveal. But, I mean, Warrior's going to have a field day with it, and Odin Warrior's already seen a lot of usage, or like the boost in usage in the last 2 weeks, and it's really good right now, so this getting is just going to add more support to it. There's probably going to be, 30 card version or 40 card version, whichever one's going to be better, we'll see, But I'm very excited. That's probably going to be the first deck that I play when the mini set releases. But let's move on to the next one. Crimson Expanse. It's a 4 mana, location, 2 durability. Choose a damaged minion, summon a copy of it that goes dormant for 1 turn. Now, when I first looked at this, I was like, this seems pretty bad. And I still think it's pretty bad. It kind of reminds me of the Warlock location, where, you pick something, you send up stats, and you get Rush. But the difference with it is just, it's just a damage copy, and you don't even get the immediate effect. Like, so if they have a really good Death Rattle, and it's damage, you could summon up a copy of it, and it might benefit you. You're not going to be able to even get that effect off until the following turn, which is extremely slow, and I don't know why they made it a Warrior and a Demon Hunter dual class card. Like, this is like the worst location. Like, honestly, the other Warrior location is much better, and even like the Relic location that Demon Hunter has, it's much more, actually has a use. This one, I don't see how this is going to fit in, unless there's going to be some new cards that are going to get revealed that makes more sense with this, but like, outside of it, it doesn't really make sense for me. Like, I understand, like, you could, like, what? The 2 mana jam session something, and like do 1 damage to everything, and then you can like pick and choose, but like whichever one you want. It is cool because it can target opponent's stuff too, but like you're not summoning up anything. It doesn't have charge, doesn't have rush. It doesn't even have an effect, like an added effect when it wakens from being dormant. So it just seems too slow for 4 mana. But I could see this like finding a place in like maybe a Highlander Warrior list, just because this card became a thing now, and so there's kind of an option. Like if I'm a 40 card deck, this might find a spot in it. I don't think it's gonna be very good, but I guess we'll see when that time comes when it gets played. Up next is Burning Heart. It's a 1 mana fire spell. Deal 2 damage to a minion. If it survives, give your +3 attack this turn. It's not a bad effect. I don't think Warrior will run this, but I could definitely see Naga Demon Hunter running this. They already have a lot of like burst potential with a lot of the spells that they have, and the fact that this is a spell and it's a cheap spell allows them to cycle it with Sharpshooter much easier. And so, they have momentum, they have the 0 cost that gets +3, and top of 2 more of these. Like, there's just going to be so much damage that's going to be coming from Naga Demon Hunter. I think they're going to like this quite a bit. So next up, Therazane. It's a 7 mana 7/5 taunt, death rattle, double the stats of all elementals in your hand and deck. Now, this is already suffering from like the whole Rodden effect too, because like Rodden's a really cool card, and they actually buffed that card recently too. And all they did was give a taunt, and they readjusted his effect. But like the fact that this has to set an important die for you to get the effect off, like if this was a battle cry, this card would be on a whole other level. I think elementals might become a little bit more viable than they already are. But since they had to go limited to death rattle, this card is not going to be 100% great. Like, it's still going to be all right. Like, if I had to give it, this is like a 6 card or a 5-star card. This is maybe like a 3, maybe 2. It's probably 2 or 3 star if I had to give it. Like, this card, it's like I don't see this being too impactful. Like, there are some like shenanigans, I'm sure, with like the mage almost legendary. We could like split this in half and you get 2 triggers and it'll be cheaper. But like, it's gonna be really hard to like guarantee that pull. Unless like a Highlander mage comes out where they only run these 2 as elementals. I could see that being a thing. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to like make a note of make a note of this and then try to deck with it. There might be something that's kind of playable with this, but I don't know, maybe. But aside from that, they added in some new treasures. Deepholm Geode, the 2 mana 1/2. At the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to all enemies and its elemental. Now, I definitely feel like this should have been a neutral elemental that they released, because like this would be great for elementals and just elemental support in general. I mean, I'm sure they probably could have like adjusted the stats maybe with it. Like, why is this in a treasure? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, it's pretty mediocre for what it is for a treasure, and there's much better rare ones in my opinion. I don't like that they're adding more treasures. I feel like if they keep on adding more treasures, it's going to get a little bit cluttery, and it's going to make it a little bit harder to like actually have a higher chance of hitting like certain treasure that you want. But that's beside the point. I think this is all right. Like I said, I think there'll be better rares to find. Heart Blossom, I think this one's actually pretty good. It's a 1 mana spell. Give a friendly minion +2/+2, deal 2 damage to a random enemy minion. I like this because like early on, when you're developing a board and you're able to buff it up and actually deal with their board as well, really strong tempo card. It's probably one of the better of the common ones. The Trog that they buffed up recently, the 1 mana 2/3, I think that one's pretty good. Even the Pouch of Coins is good for certain decks, and you know, I think all the commons are actually pretty good. I don't mind this one getting made. Next up is World Pillar Fragment. 3 mana spell, discover an elemental to summon, add the others to your hand. This is a pretty cool effect, especially for the for like late game matchups and just getting a lot of value from it. But out of all the elementals, there's like maybe only 3 or 4 that you're really looking to find. And I'm not sure if it's limited to only neutral ones or if it's like class elementals as well. If it is, this card is slightly better, but it's only limited to, you know, neutral ones. You'll have a bigger or a higher chance of hitting like Nepleton, Ragnaros, and stuff like those elementals. But like, if that's not the case, then I'm not really sure what to expect from this. It is a lot of value for one card, but I think you'll just find more value finding the other epic ones better. Like if you get the Azurite Gem, I think is what it's called, the one you discover 5 costs 1 and it goes 0. That's not bad. Even the Rat that has like Reborn and like can't be targeted by spells, like that one's not even bad to get half the time. Especially if you're able to get it like with any of the XV guys that can make it cost 0 or like reduce the cost of stuff, like that's just even better. And then the 4/3 Dragon with Lifesteal, like there's just so many good ones. Like this one's not terrible. I could see this, like, you know, people appreciate getting this, especially if you're playing like a Highlander list and you're already kind of going towards the elemental stuff. This makes a lot of sense. But so speaking of the elemental stuff, we're gonna go to this guy here. This is the next legendary here. A Root Stonebinder, I think is how you pronounce it, 7 mana 5/6. If your deck has no duplicates, discover an elemental to summon, add the other to hand. It's basically the same effect except slapped onto a legendary and it costs 7 mana. Which is weird because they made that card cost 3. Now I'm not saying that this card should cost 3, but I feel like, you know, with this whole thing, like it's it's limited because there's so many elementals that are not good, and the fact that you're running one of this and it costs 7 mana gets this effect, like you're not guaranteed to get Nepleton or Ragnaros off this every single time. And I'm sure someone could figure out all the odds and everything like that. But like it's very low. And the chances of like maybe like I don't know, there's 3 chances, I don't know what the odds are. A lot of people commenting here like this is pretty bad. Like, but let's see here. Don't know if Highlander decks would be good quite yet. The legendaries seem too slow to slot into an elemental deck as of right now. Yeah, like this is what I'm saying, like where there's some stuff here where seems kind of mediocre. I could see this being used in probably like Elemental Shaman, Elemental, or not, or Highlander Shaman, Highlander Paladin. Like in some of the other decks, I think they'd much rather run something over this. But you know, if there's like some way, like maybe out of 1 out of 3, you know, there's a chance where you have like an epic or higher, then maybe this card will be a bit interesting. But I doubt they're gonna have some type of like insane roll with that. I mean, it's gonna help fill the deck at least. You know, you could run slot in one this if you can, you know, stuff like it's not terrible. I think it's going to be kind of interesting to play. I don't think it's kind of weird because the elementals are, you know, all right now. I mean, Elemental Shaman hasn't really seen much play since, you know, the very beginning of it, and I really don't know how it's going to fit into everything. But here's some new like elemental support here. Let's see, Indrescent Grey Worm, I think is how you can pronounce it. It's 3 mana 4/3 elemental. Death Rattle, give each of your minions a random bonus effect. So if you don't have a board developed, this is not going to do its effect. But if you had a board developed and it dies, the bonus effects are, you know, Taunt, Reborn, Lifesteal, Divine Shield, Wind Fury, those types of things. It's kind of interesting in theory. I don't know. If this was like a battle cry, it might be a bit better, but the fact that it's a death rattle, all your opponent has to do is clear everything else and then clear this. and then doesn't, it's just useless. It's just going to be taking up a slot in the deck, and I don't think it's going to be good. Scrubbing it, though, might not be too bad, but running this within the deck, I don't think it's going to be all that great. Now, here's the thing. Shale Spider. If you played an Elemental last turn, draw a card. I think this is a lovely card, and I think this is something that Elemental decks would like to see, and this might be able to fit into a Highlander list. I don't know. I really don't think Highlander lists are going to be going towards the Elemental route. I think they're going to be playing these Legendaries, and they're just going to be getting random Elementals from it, right? And you're just hoping for the insane value. But that might be too slow, or it might be, you won't be hitting as many Elementals, because, like, if you think about it, these are getting added to the pool. So, like, hitting Stone Drink off of that is not terrible. Like, this is a Divine Shield, Taunt, and Lifesteal, and it can't be targeted by hero powers or spells. This is a one that you would not mind seeing get pulled off of this guy right here, the Stonebinder guy. But, like, what's the odds of this happening consistently enough to play a 7-drop and it take up a slot in your deck? That's something that, I still don't know how I feel about. But this card, if this had Reborn, that'd be lovely too. But unfortunately it doesn't. I could see Druid running this as well. This is a great dragon. I wish it did have a bit more attack, but like for 6 mana, this is not bad at all. I'm pretty happy about this. This is pretty cool. And the art, all the art for this so far I've seen, it all looks really great too. I forgot to mention this. Like this guy looks cool, but the effect is just, it's not bad. And like honestly, all this stuff here, like Therazane, awesome art. I love this so much. And this is going to be the diamond for the set too, just so you guys know. So if you're willing to spend $72, you could get the diamond for it. And I'm still debating if I want to or not. But we'll see when that happens. I really like maybe just getting everything diamond and gold. Maybe I'll do it. We'll see. Okay, so here are the Druid card, and then Druid and Rogue class card, which is these two right here. Yeah, they're kind of very similar. It's hard to tell the difference. But first one, Fell Fissure, 4-mana spell. That's a Fell as well. Deal 2 damage to all minions at the start of your next turn. Deal 2 more damage to all minions. That's kind of a good card. I don't think that's too bad. This might make Highlander Demon Hunter a little bit more viable. Kind of interesting to think about. Yeah, and also in Wild, this card's gonna be insane. I don't play much Wild, but like this is gonna be great. Like deal 2 damage to all minions, and it deals another 2, and then if you play another one of these, it doesn't seem like it's a I don't know. That's not bad. And it's a Fell spell. It could be reduced pretty easily. You discover it. This might not be too bad. I don't know how I feel about it just now and how it's going to play in Standard. I could, someone's already over here. Let's see, where was it? I see King Bang opportunities and I'm scared. Yeah, like Wild, I think this card might be a bit broken, but we'll see. Up next is Quick Pick. After your hero attacks, draw a card. Not bad. It's just tempo. You get 2 swings. You get 2 cards or 2 mana. Not the worst thing. And honestly, Demon Hunter Rogue, I mean, that's not too bad. I would have liked to see this in like Warrior. Yeah, Warrior and like what was in like maybe I'll say Shaman, but like they already did a dual class for that. I don't know. I just any deck that could just you kind of suffer from like the tempo loss. I feel like this would be a bit much better in those decks, but this is not bad. And then Shadestone Skulker, 1 mana 1/1 Elemental Rush battle card. Take your weapon, gain its stats. Death threat, I'll give it back. Like you equip this, you play this, you attack with it. When you play this, it steals those stats, so it's gonna be what 2/3. When it dies, it gives it back. So you get like what 4 draws. I don't know if it like durability matters or whatever, but it says give it back. So I'm not sure if you did use a hit or whatever if you get it back. So it's I don't know. That's kind of interesting. This is a really low power level card though. This is not terrible, but like this is the thing here. Yay, more draw and damage minions reprints for Demon Hunter class, and isn't such a bad saying. It's nothing interesting. Yeah, I think this is kind of in a spot. Like Demon Hunter is really bad right now, and I think Fell Fissure is in a good way. But like these 2 cards, like this could have been something different. And I think these are. This is like a 2-star. This is like a 2-star. This is a 1-star. Like I don't see this. Like why would you get rid of weapon? Like I understand when it dies that you get it back, but like. I guess you could kind of like combo it off with like an Ignis weapon, but like it gives it. I think it gives its durability back. Like maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I might be wrong. I don't know how I feel about that stuff. It seems pretty mediocre. Okay, so here's some other stuff here. Card reveal, Fool's Gold, Hidden Gem. So here's some Rogue and Priest stuff. So I think on the thing, if they have the split, that does mean that those classes are getting the dual class cards. So because that's something to be aware about. There's gonna be some other class cards, but fool's gold. The rogue, get a random golden pirate, an elemental from another class. So you're basically just getting what, a pirate and elemental. It's gonna be golden for whatever reason, and I don't know, it's generating some stuff, but the problem with it is you're only hitting I guess it does limit it from other classes, so you have a higher chance of hitting like what, the mage, legendary, elemental, and then what? There's not very many pirates in right now, because I mean Sunken City is gonna be rotating out relatively soon. I don't know the exact date. But this is already gonna be kind of mediocre. I don't know, this is kind of weird. Hidden Gem, 2 mana, 2/2 elemental. At the end of your turn, restore 2 health to all friendly characters. This is not bad. This heals your face, it heals your board. And like Overheal Priest could use this now. And I mean, they haven't seen much support or play, but like this is not bad. And the fact that it's stealth and it's not like stealth for a turn or something like that, you can just leave this on the board and it's just gonna healing. I think that's completely terrible. Shadow Word Steel, 5 mana, return an enemy minion to your hand. And it's a shadow spell. 5 mana, that's really slow though. There's much cheaper stuff that does way more impact than that. Like you just think of everything that's like Death Knight, like 3 mana, destroy everything. There's just like 5 minute corpse, like corpse explosion where you just nuke the board. Like, this is a slow card, but like it's not completely terrible. You could steal Yogg, you could steal something else, but like I think it just suffers from the fact that this might just be too expensive for what it would happen. I guess if you did have like what, the 3 mana free spell active, it makes your spells cost 2 less. So this is like kind of 3 costs in a way, but you have to have that in play. And this is also shadow cards, so it might limit you to like maybe only playing only Shadow Priest, or maybe there's gonna be like a hybrid where you play like some holy and shadow spells. But it all kind of I mean, control priest might use this. I just don't. It might fit into stuff into the list when the next 3 sets rotate out, and priest will probably just run this just to run it. So yeah, I don't know. This is kind of interesting. I don't know. I'll probably guess like a 2-star. I think this is not too bad as a 3-star, and being able to discover this probably isn't too bad, honestly. This is probably 2-star, but after the sets rotate, this is probably gonna go up in usage, and you played a bit more, so it's maybe like a 3-star card. It's all right. And I think that's everything so far. Yeah, but here, let me look at this again. So I think these are dual class cards. So there's gonna be Shaman Warrior, Paladin Shaman, Death Knight Hunter, Death Knight Paladin, Mage Warlock. Okay. There's some more. Oh, these were all coming out at that time. Okay, I didn't even realize it was all here. I was thinking, okay. So there's gonna be all those other reveals. Okay, good to know. Got it. And there's still one more legendary. We've only seen 3 of them. And I don't remember what they said, but I think the other legendary was supposed to be this one right here. I might be wrong. But leave down in the comments what you guys think about everything that you've seen so far. What you think will be good, whether or not you think it's gonna be, bad, good, what decks you're excited for, all that jazz. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.